Merry Christmas from the David A. Howe Public Library and from us here on But Have You Tried? I'm Ally.
I'm Nick.
And we're super excited to talk about some Christmassy adjacent
We are.
things
I love a good holiday episode. You know, I'm right in there, ready to talk Christmas. Last year on How's Things, Bo and I read Hanukkah books, which was fun because it was like a different vibe. This year we're going back to classic cozy Christmas. So if you still follow the How's Things feed, or you can look for it on our page, we're going to be going deep on some cozy Christmas books here. Are you reading things? Do you read Christmas books? What's your situation over there?
I don't really read Christmas books. I always kind of intend to, and then I just don't. And then the holiday has passed, and I'm like, whoops.
I used to do a lot more. Like I used to read lots of Christmas books like every year. And now I'm pretty much down to like one, and then whatever I read with my son or something like that. So not many. But I did read one called, it's a stupid name, hold on, Christmas, Cocoa, and a Corpse by Maddie Day.
Nice.
Very cozy. It's like they weren't even trying with that title. They were like, there's coffee, it's Christmas, there's a murder. What do we call it? You know?
Just put all these things together.
Yeah, just mix them together and that's fine.
Lean heavily on the alliteration. That'll carry us.
That's true. That's true. Well, looking it up, I feel like there's several books that are basically called that.
That's
and there's
hilarious.
just like slight variations. So, yeah, that's my go-to. I also read a couple of kids' Christmas books. One called Trek the Halls, which is a Star Trek picture book that's like basically just Star Trek in jokes with people wearing Christmas sweaters. But it really
That's pretty great.
Yeah, it really cracked us up. We have it over there. I read the Life Day Treasury, which is a series of Star Wars, like not really Christmassy, but like holiday. And they do a good job of like evoking Christmas concepts without being like Christmas, you know. But that's pretty much it for my reading. So you haven't touched any Christmas reading at all?
I haven't touched any Christmas reading.
Okay.
In previous years, I have read a picture book called The Lackey Who Couldn't Stop Screaming, I think it is.
I've seen
something
that.
about screaming and can't stop screaming.
Yeah.
It's a Lemony Snicket one. And it's more of a Hanukkah story in some ways, but it is fun.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I haven't read anything.
Did you like grow up? Were you guys reading Christmas books? Like your parents reading Christmas books?
I feel like we did.
Yeah.
I don't feel like my parents read their own Christmas books, but like when we were young enough
like Christmas
to be reading
storybooks and things. Yeah.
We would read picture books. I feel like we had some that were like Easter themed and some that were like Christmas themed.
Yep.
And I feel like they were mostly like kind of like thoughtful kind of stories with like beautiful illustrations kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I think of Christmas books now, I think of like the really like, I don't know, just kind of like cheesy and like a little garish.
Yeah.
And I feel like that...
Like Christmas, Cocoa, and a Corpse?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I feel like that unnecessarily turns me off to it a little bit. Like, because I forget that like it doesn't have to be... It doesn't have to be that.
I think it does have to be that. I don't know... I can't think of a... I mean, like Rainbow Rowell has one called Landline, which is Christmas set. That's pretty fun. And it's sort of like Christmassy enough, but not like a slap you in the face kind of holiday read. So there definitely there's some. But I feel like when I think of a Christmas book, the cheese factor is high. You know, you watching Christmas movies?
A little bit. Other than The Princess Switch, which we will talk about.
Yeah, we will.
In more depth. Caleb and I, while we were sick, which I think we touched on this last episode, watched Something from Tiffany's, which is set during Christmas.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And then we also watched with my family last weekend a new Netflix movie called Family Switch. That's also like takes place
with like
during
Jennifer
Christmas.
Garner and Okay, was it good?
It was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, earth-shattering.
Yeah.
I mean, for the kind of thing it was good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I can't ask for more than that. We've done a lot of Christmas Carol stuff. My son and I, when I was a child, I loved A Christmas Carol. I would watch it like year round. There's this Alistair Sim version I'd watch at my grandma's house all the time. But my son really likes it. So first we watch Mickey's Christmas Carol, and then we watch another short animated version with Alistair Sim, like reprising the role. And then we watch Muppets Christmas Carol, which you gotta do. You feel pretty strong about Muppets Christmas Carol?
I like it. It's good. It's good.
That was lackluster.
I know. Well, it's like I don't know how to express my enthusiasm for it without being like...
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm like, yeah, it's the best thing ever, that feels like overdone. Yeah. But like... I think it's
feel
good.
like this is like our age gap as well, because like when I was growing up, the Muppets were like everywhere, like like Muppet Babies and like reruns of the Muppet Show and all of the movies, like everywhere all the time. And I feel like for the entirety of your life, the Muppets have been on Disney's back burner, you know? So like maybe...
That's true. Well, I feel like everyone I know likes the Muppets and like has certain specific Muppet movies that they're like, this one I'm really a fan of or whatever.
Yeah.
But like... I don't feel like they're like huge and everywhere. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, everyone knows about this and everyone likes it, but we don't talk about it that much.
Okay. Yeah, Fraggle Rock. Pretty much anything Henson in the 80s and 90s. I was not Dark Crystal. Man, I hate Dark Crystal, but everything else Henson, pretty solid. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for my Christmas movies. I need more. Like, I'm sure we'll do more as Christmas approaches.
That's fair.
Because my son is like very... When it's Halloween, he wants to watch Halloween stuff. When it's Thanksgiving, he wants to watch Thanksgiving stuff.
Is there Thanksgiving stuff to watch?
Well, we always watch the Garfield Thanksgiving special.
Oh, okay.
And the Peanuts Thanksgiving special. And maybe that's it. I mean, those are the two like must watches.
Okay.
But just
I feel
wherever we are in the season,
Thanksgiving is like significantly lacking in like representation.
For sure.
Like there aren't a ton of like Thanksgiving books.
Yeah.
There aren't Thanksgiving movies. There isn't Thanksgiving music.
Yeah.
And so whenever there's like, the ongoing debate when like people start listening to Christmas music and other people are like, it's too early, you have to wait for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But it's like I understand both sides of that argument, and I guess kind of where I fall on that is like, look, if there was Thanksgiving music to listen to,
true,
maybe we wouldn't have this problem.
True. But I do hate like taking pumpkins down and replacing them with Christmas trees like, November 1st. I think that's too much.
Oh yeah.
I think it's too much.
Pumpkins can stay.
I worked with a lady who September 1st Christmas music started.
Oh my gosh.
In like a shared office, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was too much.
I will sometimes like randomly throughout the year if there's like a Christmas song or a Christmas album that I'm like thinking of, I'll just like listen to it randomly.
Yeah. No, you're not allowed to do that.
But I don't like intentionally put
Please
on
don't
Christmas
do that
music.
ever again. On the topic of Christmas music though, do you have like a go-to Christmas album that you like? Del and Sebastian sing a lot of Christmas carols.
I don't know if they actually have a single Christmas song.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going to have to
You're going to have to find it. You're going to have to find it. Yeah.
I'm going to do my best. I have a couple go-tos. One is James Taylor's Christmas album.
Oh, okay.
Which is one that we always listened to a lot growing up. My mom has it on CD.
Yeah.
And so we'd put it in whenever we were like baking cookies or decorating the tree or whatever. And so I basically have all of those songs memorized, like the way that he does them. And certain of them, if I try and sing them with other people, I sing it a little wrong because he does like his own version of it kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I also really like Nora Jones' Christmas album, I Dream of Christmas.
Okay.
Which I want to say came out only like 2 or so years ago, but it made it very good
to the list. Yeah. Okay. I've been listening to Cher's Christmas album.
That's very iconic.
It's brand new. Have you listened to it at all?
I haven't. I didn't know that was a thing.
It's brand new. She sang the lead single on the Macy's Parade.
Okay.
That was the first time we heard it. But the whole album is fun. And I have this DVD of all the Sonny and Cher Christmas shows. And I don't know when it started. I think it was even before we had a son. But whenever there's like a jukebox option, it will just play all the Sonny and Cher Christmas songs on a loop. Every year when we decorate the tree, that DVD goes in. No one questions it. It's just we can't decorate this Christmas tree without Sonny Bono singing Silent Night,
That's really funny.
So always doing that. The Monkees Christmas Party, also a really good time. And the one that's like old school from when I was a kid, my grandma had this VHS tape of Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton singing songs from this album called A Christmas Together. And that's the one that's like, I feel like it is not Christmas until I hear the Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton Christmas album. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So all that to say, I'm in a pretty festive mood. Is your house decorated?
Mostly. Our tree is up and it's like
real, right?
Real tree.
Okay.
It's about half decorated. Like we put on like the special ornaments, but then we we're going to play games with friends and we were like, we'll finish this later.
Yeah.
So we still need to put in like some of the filler ornaments, which I think is kind of nice because we could stretch out the process a little more.
Yeah.
And Caleb's great aunt Sue made us this really cool wreath last year.
Okay.
Yes, must have been last year. And so we have that hanging up and we have our stockings hanging up, which Caleb's grandma also made me a stocking with an octopus on it.
That's
I know.
Nice.
I was like
that's golden.
Extremely excited about that. So yeah, I think we're pretty well Christmas decorated.
I haven't fully recovered from the day you and I spent decking this library out for Christmas. I feel like I pulled muscles.
It was a lot.
It's a lot of lifting. Yeah, but it looks great in here.
It does.
I keep seeing
really
pictures.
good.
Like people are sharing pictures on our social medias and things like that, and it looks great. Like every angle you look, It's looking good.
And it means that like every day I just come in and I'm like, yay,
Christmas.
We're so festive.
I know. I'm always putting Christmas music on. I think it irritates some people here on the staff, but I'm always playing Christmas music at the desks.
That's funny.
Yes.
Any other Christmas Christmas baking or other Christmas traditions?
Baking.
I don't
know. So my wife took over making fruit cake for her dad. This was like, my wife's grandma always made this fruit cake every year. And so Hillary's like taking over this. And so pretty soon our house is going to start. I wish that it tastes as good as it smelled, because when she is baking this fruit cake and like, little loaves, and it's so many like little candied fruits and like, citron and giant raisins and stuff. Smells so good. But then I try it and I'm like, yeah, not for me.
Yeah. My experience with fruitcakes is definitely like they look really pretty, like kind of all jeweled and everything.
Yeah.
And then you eat it and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I could have just looked at it, I guess.
Yeah. So the fruit cakes haven't started yet, but somewhere my wife was listening to this episode being like, crap, I have to start that fruit cake. Because it's supposed to like sit for a while, Yeah, before
I didn't know that.
I mean, it doesn't have to, but supposedly it's better.
Huh.
And it couldn't get worse. No, I mean it's not that bad. It's fine. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. So there's that, and then my brother and I always have to have eggnog, and nobody else in my orbit will touch eggnog. So it's just Steve and I chugging eggnog.
Eggnog is good stuff.
You like eggnog?
Yeah. Do you make your own eggnog or do you buy your eggnog?
I want you to guess.
My guess is that you buy your eggnog, but
That's correct.
were talking about Christmas baking.
That's correct.
So
Do you make your own eggnog?
I don't.
Oh.
I had a couple of friends in college who made their own eggnog.
I was excited for a minute there. I thought maybe
my brother really wants to try making eggnog this year, so maybe he will.
I feel like making eggnog, I don't know, cracking eggs into a bowl that I'm about to drink out of, I think would maybe ruin a little bit of that magic. But
that might be true.
One little tip for everybody this holiday season: don't look at the nutrition facts on eggnog. Don't even take a look at that, because it's about the equivalent of just taking a stick of butter and like dusting it with cinnamon and just.
Have you seen online like the carnivore movement where people will just like eat sticks of butter?
No. Where are you going online? I'm going to turn Safe Search on your computer.
I don't know how this came across my feed. The algorithms have cursed me. I never have done anything that would indicate that I'm interested in a carnivore lifestyle. If anything, like most of the like food sites that I watch are all vegan things. I don't know. Okay. It's not that. I don't know. It's not that carnivorous.
Okay.
And one time I saw in the comments, because someone was like, "Here's what I ate. Is it in a day in LA? Is it carnivore?" And like some of it was like a stick of butter that apparently they were eating like during a Zoom meeting, which makes it that much worse to me.
This has become gross. This episode.
And then someone in the comments was like, I haven't been able to bring myself to just eat sticks of butter. I know so many other people who, have this food
like, to
style.
what end? Why?
I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to accomplish. Why is that a thing?
It's like when somebody's like, oh, it's an acquired taste. Like, why are you acquiring that taste then? Don't do it. It's crazy.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. Sorry for going there.
I'm not going to eat stick of butter, but if you want to make homemade eggnog and bring it into the library Christmas party, I will accept that. Hey, speaking of the library Christmas party, we're doing Secret Santa again this year.
We are.
Have you gotten your Secret Santa gift?
I have.
Have you?
I need to get like one other small thing to complete it.
Well, don't tell me who you have, because it's a secret. Last year I got you.
I know.
Remember that?
I still have that little
America Chavez. What'd you do with her? What's she doing on your bag?
She just lives on my bag.
Okay, that's a good place.
Sometimes though, the way the bag is like set up, she'll like kind of sneak into she's like hanging from the handle. Yeah. But she'll kind of sneak into the bag so that she's less visible. Oh. And I'm like trying to find a way to get her to like be more prominent.
I've had a few of those over the years. I had a Captain America for a while until the clasp. It's a little like Funko Pop. Mm-hmm. America Chavez is what you got. And I had a Captain America one and it broke. Then my son got me a Leia one last Christmas that I used for a long time. And then I got a Supergirl from the Flash movie. So nice. I feel like I usually have a little Funko Pop on my keychain somewhere. Nice. So,
yeah, I was scared to put it on my actual keychain because anything I put on my actual keychain just gets like absolutely destroyed. Yeah. So I was like, the bag is probably a safer bet.
That is safe. Okay. Yeah.
We at the D&D Club are actually doing Secret Santa, but in game. So the characters are giving gifts to the other characters. So they're like, oh, I'm going to choose this cool magic weapon. to give to my friend,
oh,
which I thought was
cute.
a fun idea because like then
can you gift full sticks of butter for the characters to eat, or is that not really?
You could.
Is that not in game, or you could? Okay.
I don't know. I don't think you should.
Okay.
Nothing is stopping you.
Roll to see if your heart explodes from cholesterol.
Constitution saving throw. But I was like, I think it'll be fun because that way everyone can have the experience of getting a gift for each other, but no one has to like actually try and spend money and shop and all of that.
Yeah, why am I doling out cash for this? We could have just done fake gifts for each other. That would have been even better.
Imagine you have this in your mind.
I give you the gift of merriment.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, should we talk about the Princess Switch?
We should.
So do you have some facts for me about the Princess Switch?
I do. I do have some facts for you, yes. The Princess Switch came out in 2018, directed by Mike Roll, who'd previously worked on shows like Kyle XY, Andromeda, and lots of Smallville, which you got to watch at some point. Written by Robin Bernheim, who also wrote for Quantum Leap, Star Trek, Diagnosis Murder, Megan Metzger, starring Vanessa Hudgens, who I know from that show Powerless and Grease Live, but probably High School Musical is where
I did not ever watch High School Musical.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, it was weird, actually. I watched this movie and I was like, man, this actress is great. And then I've seen her in several other things. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, yeah, Vanessa Hudgens. She's great. And people will be like, oh, yeah, High School Musical. And I'll be like, no.
So she wasn't in Home School Musical. That was the one you were watching, right?
I did watch, like, Sunday School Musical with one of my friends at a sleepover once.
Okay.
It wasn't good.
Not good.
It wasn't my choice of a movie, and it wasn't good. But we had a fun time.
Okay.
So
yeah, well, sometimes that can work.
Yeah.
Also, Sam Palladino, who was in the show Nashville, and we were watching this show, and my wife was like, "You don't recognize this prince?" And I'm like, "No, I've never seen him in my life." And so she kept being like, "No, come on, we've seen him." And I finally figured out he's in Nashville, which she watched without me. So that's why. That's why I didn't recognize it. Followed by 2 sequels, Switched again in 2020, and Romancing the Star in 2021. The first movie holds a Rotten Tomatoes score at time of recording of 67% fresh, based on critic scores, and 51% rotten, based on audience scores. I fall on the rotten side. I'm sorry to break your Christmas heart.
That's okay.
I wanted to like it. I thought she was good. I'll say that. I thought she was really engaging, and I thought, like, she did some cool things when she was playing the 2 characters, like overdoing an American accent, which is hard when you have an American accent to overdo it. So I thought she had a lot of like little touches that I thought were really good, and I found her like always entertaining to watch. But I feel like nothing happens in the movie. Like, it's just very low key. There's just like not a lot of stakes. I don't understand really why they switched to begin with. I think I'm thinking about it too much.
That's quite possible.
Tell me your experience. So it's a positive Christmas episode. Okay.
A positive Christmas episode.
How did you discover this? What do you like about it?
So it was my senior year of college, and it was finals week of the fall semester. So we were approaching Christmas.
Was this 2018?
No, this was 2020.
Okay, so you could have been watching the sequel as well. Okay,
I did. I watched.
You watched them like back to back. Okay.
Yes, actually. And my senior year, I said to myself, I'm tired of being miserable and stressed out and trying to do my homework at 11 o'clock at night in the dark all the time.
That was me all day.
Oh my gosh.
Feel like I never started a paper before like the day before. I mean, research, but like actually sitting down to type day before.
I feel like I would sometimes start like too far in advance and then just like prolong my stress.
That seems right.
Right? It's really an iconic move. But anyway, so I made a rule for myself senior year that I was going to not, unless it was an extreme circumstance, I was going to not work on homework after 5 p.m. I was just going to hang out with my friends.
I have a similar rule, but with caffeine intake. So.
That's a smart rule. Yeah. I just can't have any caffeine anymore.
Really?
I'm broken.
None? Wow.
None.
Okay.
Not unless I want to have excruciating stomach pain.
Really? Stomach pain?
Yeah.
With caffeine?
Yeah. Even a cup of tea, excruciating stomach pain.
Excruciating?
Yeah.
You should have a doctor check that out.
I mentioned it to my doctor, and she was like, yeah, that can happen.
Huh.
Anyway.
Okay, well, sorry.
So it was like some night during like finals week, and all of my friends were still doing their homework because they didn't have this rule for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in my room, and I wanted to do something fun, so I started watching The Princess Switch.
Okay.
And I think I actually like paused it 10 minutes before the end to like go, I don't know, talk to someone or do something or see someone.
Yeah.
I came back, I watched the remaining 10 minutes, and then I immediately watched the second movie.
Okay.
Is how this went.
I think that part of the problem was that I didn't like get deep enough into the premise, because you said it keeps escalating. Mm-hmm. And I think like it sort of had the feel of a farce, but it wasn't farcical. Other than the fact that you just have to believe that these two people are identical. You know what I mean? Like that's the farce element. But I just felt like the tone and the overall interactions were not heightened enough to make that premise like fun for me. But I think maybe if I would have kept going, and maybe I will, who knows? We still got time till Christmas.
There is time, yeah.
But I think maybe I would have liked it more if it was zanier.
That's possible.
Because
the second and third one definitely are zanier.
The
second one involves kidnapping, and the third one involves a heist.
I felt bad for the guy who was in the friend zone, you know, who like falls in love with the Duchess, and then, you know what I mean? Like that was I don't know that he could have recovered from that quite as quickly as he could. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Like they have this long friendship relationship, and then he thinks it's taking
like,
a romantic turn.
Wait, there's some
turn.
vibes here.
Yeah.
And then she's like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, surprise, it was a different person.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, though, because the whole time he's like, she would never change, you know, like she would never be spontaneous enough. And then she starts acting weird.
She would never not use the list and
right,
stuff
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
And so I feel like that's probably part of why he just took it in stride. He was like, it makes sense that she wasn't acting the way she would ever act because it wasn't her.
I feel like if I could change anything, it would be just that both he and the daughter are aware. Like, I don't see why they would lie to him, really. I don't understand. Like, lying to the royal family or whatever, sure, that makes sense.
Sure,
but, like, this bro?
I know.
You know? I don't know why you gotta lie to him.
It probably would have made a little more sense if they'd told him, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But I think the daughter and the Duchess like conspiring together to try and conceal it from him is pretty funny.
That's true. That's
whenever she's like, I've never been to a sing-along before. And she's like, you mean a Belgravian sing-along?
I didn't understand the guy who was like an elf, I want to say. Who is the man who
the
was...
magical man?
The magical man. Like, what's that all about?
I feel like he's just there to
just there.
Be mysterious and Christmassy and assist.
Yeah.
He does show up in
he'd have to.
In the other
he'd
movies.
Have to.
Yeah.
I have to believe that this was intended to be a trilogy. Like, I didn't see any record of that anywhere, but I just feel like they must have at least been thinking like this is the start of a series.
That's fair.
Because I think it has a little bit of those vibes, because you don't really get into the fun part of it, I feel like. You know?
I don't know. Like, I thought it was pretty fun. I think some of what I really enjoyed is... You know how in a lot of movies there's like situations where like maybe people are switched, like it's Freaky Friday, you know what I mean? And the daughter has to like pretend to be the mom.
Yeah.
But she like obviously doesn't know what she's doing,
right.
and it's like awkward and horrible.
Yeah.
I feel like Princess Switch does that, but then instead of it being awkward and horrible, there's like something that allows the situation to recover.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, everyone listen to the Duchess play.
Yeah.
And this like baker from Chicago who presumably doesn't know how to play the piano at all is like panicking.
Yeah.
And then the prince is like, well, do a duet. You can play these really 4 easy notes. And I think that's just really satisfying to me to be like, oh no, oh, it's fine.
Yeah. I agree. I did clock that too. The fact that like in a movie like this, really any movie where there's like this sort of any sort of twist romance, you know there's going to be a point where it's like everything goes to crap and they're like, oh no, we can't do this, I'm mad at you.
Exactly.
And then we resolve. We like skip that whole bit.
I know.
Which I think was
it's
nice.
It's so nice. Yeah, we skipped that bit, and for the kind of movie it is, there's like minimal secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, true.
Which like I'm not as sensitive to that as I know some people are, but I still don't. Yeah. I wouldn't seek it out.
Yeah.
It's like I want to be second-handedly embarrassed today.
Yeah. I could have done with more Christmas vibes also.
That's fair.
So tell me, like, as the series progresses, like you say it gets zanier. I know she plays more than 2 characters.
Yes.
And we get into like kidnapping plots. What is it?
There's a kidnapping plot.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how much to say about this because I don't know if you're going to watch more and how much spoilers you want.
All right. Let's try to avoid spoilers.
Okay.
In broad terms.
In the second movie, it starts because the Duchess character from the first one is now going to be coronated as queen of her like tiny made-up country.
Belgravia, yeah.
She's from Montenaro.
Oh, that's right.
Actually.
That's right. She's from Montenaro.
We've got multiple tiny made-up countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which are
at
definitely
that point, you're just
not
like
Britain.
A small town mayor, right? I mean.
I know. Well, in the extent that like Belgravia in particular is like, oh, I can't believe it's not Britain.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway.
Right.
She's going to be coronated as queen, and so all the other characters from the first movie are there, and she and friend zone baker guy have broken up mostly because she's going to be queen, and that caused some tension.
That's a problem, yeah.
And so the other Vanessa Hudgens is like trying to get them back together, and anyway, all of that stuff. Then her cousin character, who is also played by Vanessa Hudgens, but with blonde hair.
Thank goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
She shows up and causes some chaos. Kidnapping is involved.
Okay.
And...
Okay. Oh, so the new one's villainous.
Yes.
See, that's
the new
more,
one is
that's
villainous.
more fun. Darn it. Maybe I do have to watch
And
this.
then in the third one, the villain semi-teams up with the others to do the heist.
Oh, see? Yeah. This was on me. You said I only had to watch the first one, but you recommended the other two, and I ran out of time. And I feel like that's
if
on
you
me.
feel like the first one is okay but needs more action.
You did say that. You did. I remember that very clearly now. Yeah, so I've made a crucial mistake here, and it's not too late for me to go back and fix it.
We still have like what?
Yeah.
14 days until Christmas?
Something like that.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Not quite 2 weeks, but yeah, we're in the zone. Yep, that's pretty good. So maybe I will. What is your like favorite scene? If you're going to tell somebody like this is the best part of the movie, like what is it?
I think I enjoy the element where the Vanessa Hudgens, who just is the baker, is just like shaking things up at the castle, and the like king is like, "What's going on?" And the queen is just like, "Yeah, this is great." Like, I don't know what's going on with this Duchess lady who's acting really differently, but I'm down for it.
I do like that they won this like thing, all expense paid trip to go and like bake, but then the baking stuff is like 1 second.
Not important. And all the shots of the cake, they look really fake rough. And horrible. Yeah, I know. Not pretty at all. Having watched some of the Great British Baking Show, I was like, the baking aspect of this is not wowing me at all.
That's really back burner. I love too that they were like, we'll just close our specialty cake shop during the holiday season.
Right? She's like, there's no way we can close for the holidays. And then they just do it anyway.
Yeah, then they do it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, normally I'm down for a cheesy Christmas movie. I don't know if I just built my expectations up too much. I don't know. But I feel now that I have to watch the sequels.
I recommend them. Okay. I think you might enjoy them more. It's definitely a movie that I'm like, in every way I recognize that this isn't exactly a good movie.
Yeah.
And there's even certain scenes that when I watch them, I'm like, man, the dialogue there is like leaving a little something to be desired. But I still just very much enjoy the experience every time I
get
watch
it. I mean, they're all likable people. I think it's just, I can forgive a lot of cheesiness and Christmas stuff, but I just found it draggy a little bit. I was a little like, come on, I want something crazy to happen, you know? That's why I need the sequels. My brother is like, if they make a fourth one, there needs to be like aliens. Yeah.
And like a fourth Vanessa Hudgens, who's maybe an alien.
Yeah. I think that sounds perfect.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, I would watch it.
Okay.
Nothing would stop me.
All right. So the movie is The Princess Switch. Then you have The Princess Switch : Switched Again. And then The Princess Switch: Romancing the Star. And at time of recording, these are all available on Netflix. So you can watch them there. How many times have you watched any of these?
I think I've watched all of them at least 3 times.
3 times. See, that's another thing. Repeated viewing, that just like all that familiarity, you know what I mean? That's like a Mystery Science Theater or something. The more you watch it, the funnier it is.
It's definitely the kind of thing that it's like the more you watch something, either you like it more or you like it less.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like
There's
a
no
really
ground.
clear,
Yep.
Really clear division.
There's a fork in that Princess Switch road. Okay, well, Allie, I know that you like the Princess Switch, but have you tried Jack Finney, the author Jack Finney?
I have not tried Jack Finney.
Okay, have you heard this name before?
Only from you.
From me, okay.
I don't think I've ever heard about Jack Finney from anyone else now that I think about it.
Okay, well, so Jack Finney, my favorite author. We'll get into why and how I discovered him in our full episode, but he started with a lot of short stories. He has a couple of plays that he's done, primarily known for his novels now, but I think the short stories were really the thing that like pushed it up there. And there's a lot of short story collections that he's done that are really good. His probably most famous book would be Time and Again, which is a time travel story, but it's not really like a sci-fi kind of time travel vibe. It's a different approach altogether, and I think really, really works well. That's probably his, like, if you're looking at the novels of Jack Finney, that's probably like the one that's sort of like his masterpiece. But he's written in all sorts of different genres. So probably the most famous, just with name recognition, would be Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which he wrote, and there's been multiple movies.
I definitely recognize that name.
And a lot of his early novels were all made into movies in the 50s and 60s, too, like Good Neighbor Sam with Jack Lemmon and Assault on a Queen with Frank Sinatra, I want to say, Five Against the House. Like, all of these have been made into movies, but like a long time ago. So I don't think it's an author that's like pops up all that much, but he was somebody who was really like a big influence on Stephen King and a lot of other people like that. And it's really character focused, and I just love the way that he writes. So I would suggest to you to read Time and Again. It's on the long side, so if you've got time over the holidays, I would say Time and Again. And if you feel like doing a little bit more, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a quick read.
Okay.
And is good. I think it really holds up. It's more than just sort of a B movie sci-fi. You know, it's a much deeper book, and very good. And then we have lots of short story collections too.
Okay.
So I have read all of Jack Finney's fiction, except there's a short story collection called I Love Galesburg in the Springtime, and it was impossible to find. Like, I just could not get my hands on this book. And so for a wedding present, which has been 17 years ago, my wife tracked down a copy of I Love Galesburg in the Springtime. And so I've had it since 2006, and I've never read it because it's the last one.
That makes sense.
So now I have to read I Love Galesburg in the Springtime for our episode.
This is a momentous time.
Yeah, it is. Yep, this will be the time. So anyway, Jack Finney's the author. Time and Again will be our primary focus. If you're down to read Time and Again?
I am down. You said time travel, and my ears perked up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be doing that. In 2 weeks, it's going to be the new year. So we're going to be talking about our favorite books, movies, shows, music, whatever from the year 2023. Are you ready for this retrospective?
I'll have to think about it. I need to dig deep and make sure I remember everything.
I started looking into mine a little bit just with books, and I was like, how is it possible that was this calendar year? That makes no sense. So yeah, and we'd love to hear from everybody out there. So if you have favorite books, movies, shows, whatever, you can send them to us at David A. Howe Public Library on Facebook, or you can find us on Tumblr at But Have You Tried, or Threads at DA Howe Library, Instagram, wherever. But just send us the things you've been reading, watching, and loving in 2023. We'll talk about it, and then in 1 month, it's Jack Finney.
Jack Finney time.
Okay, well, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody.
Happy Holidays.